15 Unique Facts About Michael Jackson. Did you know that Michael Jackson once tried to buy out Marvel Comics so that he could become a superhero? Number 1. Jackson's father forced him to play music. Whilst growing up, Michael Jackson's father, Joe Jackson, would force Michael alongside his siblings to practice music. He would often hit or whip them if they played the wrong note or made a mistake. Joe's mindset was to keep Michael and his siblings off the streets and away from gangs. As a result, being raised in this way meant that they never had many friends. Growing up in this environment forced Michael to be the best at what he did musically and caused a lot of mental pressure on him. Number 2. He lived in a theme park. Some people might think this is a dream home, but others might think it is a little odd. Michael Jackson turned his ranch into a half-home, half-amusement park. The amusement park had a petting zoo, roller coasters, railroads, bumper cars, a Ferris wheel, and a carousel. The ranch was called Neverland, after the fictional place that Peter Pan lives. The property was 3,000 acres. It is thought that he could have paid anywhere between $17 million USD to $30 million USD. The ranch is now worth $100 million USD. Number 3. Jackson took his llamas to the recording studio. On his ranch, Jackson had a petting zoo with many animals, including 2 very special llamas. They were called Lola and Louie, and they got to visit the recording studio with Jackson. One particular day caused a big uproar when Jackson brought them in when collaborating with Queen's frontman Freddie Mercury. In 1983, during a collaboration recording with Mercury in Los Angeles, Jackson decided to bring along his pet llama Louie. This became a regular occurrence that Mercury was not fond of. Amongst other reasons, it is said that this was a contributing factor for not completing the song recordings. Number 5. Michael Jackson was gifted 5,000-pound elephant. Can you imagine being gifted an elephant? In 1991, Jackson was gifted an Asian elephant by actress Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor gifted Jackson the elephant after he allowed her to host her wedding on his ranch. Jackson called the elephant Gypsy, and it weighed around 5,000 pounds. Number 5. Michael Jackson was gifted 5,000-pound elephant. Can you imagine being gifted an elephant? In 1991, Jackson was gifted an Asian elephant by actress Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor gifted Jackson the elephant after he allowed her to host her wedding on his ranch. Jackson called the elephant Gypsy, and it weighed around 5,000 pounds. Number 7. Michael Jackson's skin color changed because of a skin disease. If you compare a photo of Jackson early in his career to one towards the end, you will notice a dramatic change in his appearance. One of the most controversial and noticeable changes was his skin tone. Jackson's doctor said that he had vitiligo, a skin disease where the color of your skin changes. But there are many other thoughts and theories. A lot of people believe that his change in skin tone was on purpose, and that he was ashamed of his natural skin tone. After his death, an autopsy confirmed that Jackson did suffer from vitiligo. Number 8. In 1992, Michael Jackson was crowned a king. In 1992, Jackson visited the west coast of Africa on his tour, and he was warmly welcomed by the locals. He was loved so much that in one small village on the Ivory Coast they decided to make him king. Jackson was crowned King Sani and given the name Michael Jackson Amalam Ano by the tribal chief. A full ceremony was held, including dancing and traditional drumming in the village of Krinjabo. Jackson dressed in a traditional gown for his coronation, and papers were signed to make his kingship official. He remained the king of the Ivory Coast until his death. Number 9. He invented gravity-defying shoes. You might be familiar with his famous moonwalk, and the ability to lean at what should be a near impossible angle for humans. This was all because of his gravity-defying shoes. The U.S. patent No. 5,255,452 was given to Jackson to use for his famous performance. Although Jackson did not invent the moonwalk, he was the expert at it. His shoes had specially designed slots where they could clip into the stage to hold him in place whilst he did his stunt against gravity. Unfortunately, the patent expired in 2005 when Jackson missed a payment, so the design was out in the open. Number 10. Jackson became an action figure. That's right, alongside the likes of Barbie and G.I. Joe. There was a Michael Jackson children's doll. In 1997, Street Life produced a Michael Jackson doll to sell to the European market. The design was of Jackson when he recorded the music video for Black or White in 1991. It was released to the European market at the same time as Jackson's HI Story World Tour. There was also a singing version of the doll which sang a clip from his famous Black or White hit. This doll showed Jackson dressed as he was on tour in 1991. Number 11. He once tried to buy Marvel Comics. In the late 1990s, Jackson tried to purchase the well-known comic book company Marvel. Marvel Comics had filed for bankruptcy and Michael Jackson was in the market. The main reason for wanting to purchase Marvel was so that he could feature as a superhero himself. Jackson saw himself as being a great Spider-Man for Marvel. This wasn't his only attempt at trying to become a superhero. As soon as he heard there was going to be a new X-Men movie, he put himself forward to play Professor X. Once again, he was not chosen for this role. Number 12. The mother of one of Jackson's sons is unknown. Michael Jackson had 3 children, but one of them has an unknown mother. Jackson had 2 marriages, the first to the daughter of Elvis Presley, Lisa Marie Presley, but they got divorced in 1996. He had 2 children with his wife Debbie Rowe, who was a nursing assistant. They named their son Michael Joseph Jackson and their daughter Paris Michael Catherine Jackson. But Jackson has another son named Prince Michael Jackson too. But his mother's identity has remained a mystery to the public. Number 13. Jackson once had a pet chimpanzee called Bubbles. Jackson took his pet chimpanzee named Bubbles on tour with him to Japan. The stunt caught the eye of the media, and before he knew it, people were comparing him to the likes of a Disney character that befriended a chimp. Bubbles became Jackson's double and went on tour with him. Bubbles retired in 2005, 4 years before Jackson's death. Number 14. Michael Jackson is the world's most successful dead celebrity. MJ was born on August 29, 1958. And died on June 25, 2009. The year of Jackson's death was his most successful. Around 35 million copies of his albums were sold within the first 12 months after his death. Since his death, he has made approximately $2.1 billion USD. Half of the $4.2 billion USD he made whilst he was alive. In 2016, Michael earned $825 million USD. Breaking the record for the highest earning celebrity in a single year. In 2018, he became the highest paid dead celebrity of the year, making $400 million USD. Number 15. Jackson's animals have disappeared. Following Jackson's death, it is unknown where many of his animals are. His petting zoo was closed down and no one knows where all the exotic animals went. Many were given to zoos or rehomed to private owners, but some have just vanished entirely. A strange theme is that most of the pets or animals Jackson was most fond of were the ones who have disappeared. In particular, there is no record of the whereabouts of his elephant named Gypsy. His much-loved llamas have also disappeared. Thank you for watching Factify Vlogs. If you like the video, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel.